Well, hello everyone. It's like you here to show you the artistic hospital future coloring right here. As you see right here, as I went ahead and drew, say some of like quite a few details right here. Is first of all is like you have right here is like on the right here is that to go ahead and point this like your camera to the right here is that you see right here. I went ahead and drew an example right here is like which calls like a subway, yeah, like a metro link is like you going to into to go where it would drive through as like underground, to the say to a floor to where it would be delivering. It's like talking about whoever wanted to go to the hospital and stuff, or whoever had to go to a doctor's appointment there or something like that. You got right there is it's like say the metro line, and of course right here is I went ahead and drew some details right here is like for the buildings. Is that it's like quite a few of them of the buildings that were being made out of what you call as like a real strong in glass type material. Is like talking about with like the types of materials that we think that the buildings will be designed for if it's what you call it if it's what you call it Simo rock or anything like that, or a cameo stone or anything like that more likely any type of a strong material. But of course the way I drew this building idea right here is based on the fact about that you're talking about with glass is that I use the idea of using glass to show an example about, of course, about what the hospital building would look like, of course. But right here is that you got right here is that there's a parking lot, and I went ahead and drew is like the typical name I had, of course, for it was like anchor stone. It is anchor stone where that it would be like concreted like any other parking lot it is, but only that it's like a stone type material. It's more sturdy, and knowing about that we could probably think about it is like the what the buildings hospital buildings may look like in the next near future. It is you have right here is the ambulance. If there was like an ambulance vehicle and about emergency drop off vehicle right here it is, but just knowing about that you have right there is like for the parking lot. It is for Everstone it is, and then of course the other details I went ahead and added along with the rest of the building. But when it be the way I do it is like you got right here is the helicopters, like you see in the medical say helicopter, and then you got right here is the dorm, and I went ahead and drew this dorm. I thought about is go ahead and use an idea for like a dorm example for like what you call is for the future hospitals. It is what the dorm is, and knowing about it is like it would open, of course, for the helicopter to be able to take off. But then of course the dorm would be is like be made out of like what you call real strong glass. It is that you have it to where that it would be weather resistant. It is, and then of course the way I drew that the helicopter was that the landing gear. Of course had gotten smaller, and then of course it's like the fuel efficient. I guess you can maybe say part ethanol and part power. It is. But other than that is talking about is like you got right here is the dorm, and then of course that see here the rest of the detail of to see for the hospital. It is you got right here is the rooftop, and then what the rooftop is that I went ahead and made this. And this would be like what you call is like up on top of the roof would be like what you call is a second part of the building. Say for a hospital, I was thinking about for future hospital designs is knowing about it's like you have a where you put a gift shop, and then of course with the shopping mall all in one building it was. But you probably think about that anything that more likely that they'll probably have later on in the future it is. And then of course this idea right here came in mind of knowing that if we're getting ready to go to the hospital it was, and let's just say if the hospital were located on what you call as a S52 Whitland Drive or something like that. Whitland Drive, then there would be like what you call as like a little I guess you call it a 3D like a little robotic, like maybe you can call it like the roboto kind of like doctor. But other than that, there would be somebody that would be giving you directions if you were just you're walking out of the building, it is that there will be like what you call is like a little voice recorders, like the person right there on the top of the screen of the hospital building that would be guiding you directions, and of course have like what you call is like its own satellite where it would show you satellite images of course around the area within about 3 miles it is. But other than that, it's like for the Aerostone, and of course with the subway, and then of course you have right here is with the statue. And I was thinking about go ahead and draw like what you say is a fountain, and about right go ahead and draw is like you got the arms right here of the statue, and of course it'll be holding like what you call is a flag, the flag that represents like say the honor, for luck it is for the building construction of the hospital. Got there is the statue, and people probably thinking about that, that quite some of them, mainly it's libraries or faculties or whatever, that they would have it like a sculpture, say a statue, it is. But anyway, with the statue right there. But anyway, whenever you walk into the hospital, it is knowing about the way the parking lot design is also that have it to where it will be painted, and of course at nighttime it would have like what you call is like a glow type movement. Is like knowing about that if you have a spot to park, and then knowing about really I don't even exactly know how the parking spots are going to look like, but more likely it's like knowing about type of idea, knowing about the hospital as you walk into the hospital, and just knowing about that the way I got drawn right here is that you got right here is it's all glass. These except, maybe like the countertop would be like part of it would be made out of like a real strong wood it is, but other than that, the way I have it drawn right here is that this will be like what you call is like a plain sheet of glass right here. This will be glass, and then of course that there will be what you call places even on the walls that they would say is like is to push hold your finger right here, and then watch it like as it follows, follow, and then of course there will be like a screen right here, and then from the screen, and of course it's like with the touch screen it is, and just knowing about, and then maybe a few buttons right up here on the top, but these two areas right here would be like what you call is a real strong glass, not really breakable, as nothing breakable or anything like that. It's just that it's a real strong glass, and then these will be like what you call other rooms too. That of course I went ahead and colored them in different colors it is, but right here you go ahead and use it as the green, but right here you guys the hallway, and then of course it do be like what you call another lab, maybe back in here it is maybe a gift shop or whatever, but other than that is knowing about it. You walk into the lobby area, and just knowing about that there'll be maybe somebody there, but you got the stairs that goes to the next level, and of course that people probably think about is like with glass that the part of the building with a lot of the walls would be what you call constructed and the carved say out of glass it is, that you have like glass walls, and then of course but then that kind of glass will be like what you call it's like the digital Acroban is say glass, that it will be like a real strong glass to where it's not it's not easily breakable. It's a real strong sturdy glass it is. But other than that, you have right here is the details of inside the hospital, like the walk-in area, and then right here is like for the hospital it is that when Drew is like for the ambulance, but of course it's like you have this right here. You can maybe look at it as like a holograph or anything like that. But anyway, go ahead and maybe add a little bit of purple right here. A little bit of purple. But have like a little a screen to where somebody that will be pointing you at the direction that you need to go. It's like if you were to be going to a doctor or any clinic for any reason. I remember whenever I was young, it's like knowing about that don't want to go to the hospital because knowing about I can't be that sick or whatever. But on the other end too, that a lot of times you really don't mind it. Like knowing about the doctors there that really see the right one, to be able to know. It's like knowing about how they handle. It's like your situation. It's like if you're sick or something like that, or having X-rays done, whatever it is. But But along right here, go ahead and add right here. Then this would be like what you call is like an area right here where it would be like what you call is a real sturdy sheet of glass that kind of like maybe like a one-way window. You would be able to see a window right here to where you can actually walk on and drive on, but then of course that you can actually see the subway train you're going by underneath the ground. It is, you know, for like you say, if it's the G ground floor or anything like that. But you have right here is like, you know, the subway. I guess if you want to call it maybe the metro or anything like that, you know, it's a transportation, you say car, it is known as like you ran on the ground to help goes to, you know, rest stop. It is like runs on the ground to where if you know when you had to drop off patients or anything like that. But basically, it's like the whole idea I have right here is talking about is like what the types of things that more likely that we could probably think about that we would like to see. It's like, you know, for, you know, that design for hospital buildings now, and I was thinking about that yeah, that, you know, maybe medical helicopters, and then of course I don't know about medical jets or anything like that, but on the other hand too, that knowing about is like with say is with that rooms, it's like, you know, it's like the between that the rooms where they deliver the babies, and of course it's like the other doctor's offices, and of course the operating rooms, and then of course the surgery, you know, type rooms. It is a habit to where that it would be like what you call is like you pick a room in particular. Is like you have a room and about right in here is like knowing about the the types of building structures it is knowing about that you know, with glass it's like you're not very safe, you know, for, you know, the patients and stuff. But on the hand too, just thinking about this, like the type of details if you want to put into the artwork it is. Go ahead and put like, would say a big room right here. If this will be like a lobby, I remember whenever at Spine Center, it is Spine Center here that they have like a place where you walk in, and then of course it will be windows up on the wall and stuff where you can have a clear view. Say of the outside, it is like a real strong glass, and with the glass like a digital glass is to where that you would see you would be able to drag and drop. It's like you have like a photo or any type of paperwork that they have it to where that it's like it would show up like maybe at the desk right here, have it to where that pull up a number of documents on say the flat the flat tape or something like that. The flat tape that they have, it's like it will be all mounted into the drawer here, and just move the screen, and then it would just follow your movement to knowing about, it's like whatever paperwork that they show you. It's like knowing about if you check in or check out. It's like talking about giving them the updated information that you need for you so far as medical research it is. But on your hand too, that knowing about what people probably thinking about that, yeah, like, you know, between day and night time, really, you know, if that's ever going to change, if it's like talking about, it's like, yeah, that knowing about that between day and night time, you go ahead and draw right here is the sun, and then of course the moon right here. And we could probably think about this like, you know, so far as the future about the hospitals it is. The future about hospitals is just knowing about that, hey, you know, well, what do you think you know, that they really haven't, you know, changed too much, you know, since people have say worked in a medical lab for years, and just knowing about that yeah, really the only thing that's really changed maybe is the way that they make the medicine, and more likely you probably think about that, yeah. That's really the only thing that really maybe needs a change, is about maybe the insurance coverage. It's like talking about maybe the insurance coverage, and along with the medication it is that they have, you know, maybe at the hospital, something that may not be strong enough, or, you know, maybe say insurance coverage that don't pay for everything, whatever it is. But on the other hand too, that knowing about is like with the hospital clinic right here, and just knowing about it's like you talk about, it's like you have it to where it's like its own satellite, to where that you can actually, so you have like somebody that will be talking right here, and then of course you have right here is the statue, and of course, you know, use a little bit of that metallic, you know, say red it is, and go ahead and just color in a little bit of background right here. But on the other hand, too, to knowing about that, yeah, if you would be going to the hospital for any reason, is just knowing about, whatever the things that comes to your mind in the future it is, and just knowing about, it's that type of activity that I went ahead and did, is knowing about that what you think that you would see in the for future hospitals. It is knowing it's like you got the ambulance right there, and of course I can go ahead and add a little bit of detail. It's like you got right there is a little bit of red right here. It's like represents like for the ambient, and then of course is to say for the delivery part. It's like if it would be bringing in the patient, it is. And of course it's like there's people probably think about that a lot of times you would usually see like a wheelchair person. It's like, I guess I can go ahead and draw that real quick. Is that it's like a wheelchair type person that would be coming out. It's like of the hospital it is. And what do I think that the wheelchairs will look like maybe in the near future it is, and maybe have it to where that they have a seat right here, and then of course that they would have it to where that and then they have the leg rest about right here. It is have the arm rested about right here. And I'm not talking about something that folds into a briefcase, but then have it to where that it's like it gives them I've seen one on TV that is designed to where it can, we could help you get down the stairs and get up the stairs and stuff like that. But other than that, and knowing about it's like right here, so far as the artistic hospital future it is it talking about is like what you say was designed of knowing about whatever that comes to your mind. Knowing about with me is like talking about it's like for actually if I were to actually draw it out and just knowing about it's like to do the homework it is talking about is like types of medicine. Medicine, it's like talk about is like it's like for the medicine it is, and talking about if it's part insurance coverage it is part part A or part B or anything like that. It's like talk about with any insurance coverage to say talking about what they take. But other than that, talking about this like knowing about that, yeah, it's like for the location to know is like from where your doctor's appointment is located. But other than that, it's talking about it's like so far as the artistic hospital future color.